Everyone be so quiet. Evelyn is asleep. If you wake her up, I'll murder you.
Well, welcome back to my channel, Dillon. Thank you for joining me. So what we are going to talk about today are your favorite book characters. So
Lovely.
I'm excited to hear who you have to talk about. Do you want all the questions right now, or I guess I'll just preface. So I want to know who the characters are, what book they are from, and then why you love said characters.
Okay. I'll save my favorite for last. And
Okay,
I'll share
how many are
two.
there?
I'll share three in total.
Okay.
Okay. First one, one of my favorite book characters is Long John Silver from Treasure Island.
Okay.
And from her face, he's not the bad guy. He is the bad guy, but he's not the bad guy. Listen, I know that if you've read the book, you understand, who Long John Silver is. One thing I love about Long John Silver, and this is his redeeming quality, that no matter what side he is on in the book, because he kind of goes back and forth, he always looked after and took care of Jim. Like, it didn't matter. Jim was like a priority to him.
So that shows that he genuinely cared about him.
Yeah. To him, Jim wasn't just like a part of the plan, or he wasn't just using Jim.
Okay.
Jim, if you ever read it, Jim's like I think he's 14 years old. This is his first adventure out in the world. Long John takes super good care of him. Secondly, I love that Long John Silver his ability to essentially talk his way out of anything. Like, there's something about his
gift of gab.
Well, yeah, there's something about his character that people just draw close to him because
he's charismatic. Yes,
because even when you think he's a good guy and it turns out he's not, the captain and the squire and everyone who's on Jim's side, let's say, they think that Long John Silver is an outstanding character, and then they find out that he's evil. But all the evil pirates love Long John for the most part until they kind of start thinking he's, they give him the black spot. Then they take it back because, again, they love Long John. And then in the end, everyone still accepts Long John to back into, Jim's side because he's just so, I don't know.
He is loyal to Jim.
Yeah, he's
so
loyal
it's like,
to Jim.
even though he's not loyal to either side, it does show that he has some character, like moral character, because of his loyalty to the kid.
Yes, that's the best way. So that's some of my favorite things. And apparently he's an amazing cook. I've never tried it, but to the book, they hired him as the chef on the ship. So, and he owned his own tavern at one point, which is pretty cool.
And he's played by Tim Curry in Muppet Treasure Island, right?
Yes, he is indeed the legendary Tim Curry.
That's awesome. And sorry, Treasure Island is written by
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Okay, thank you. I didn't ask that at first, but if you want to include that too.
I couldn't. This list would not be complete if I didn't mention my girl Nancy Drew. Well, you're my girl.
Honey, I get what you're saying.
Okay, I love Nancy Drew. I think she is awesome. So Nancy Drew, any of the novels. Well, I haven't read some of the newer ones, like the original. I think that people use the term the OG Nancy Drew. What does that even stand for?
I think the original.
Oh, yeah. So the OG Nancy Drew, in the 30s. I think she's awesome. One, I think she is so... Her character, she is so... she's so polite. Mm-hmm. She has manners. She has class.
She's a classy lady.
Yeah. She's very respectful of everybody. If you are older than she is, she understands that you are her elder and she's respectful of you. Unless you're a stuck-up evil person, then, she's not afraid to stand up to you either. That's something that's cool about Nancy Drew. She solves mysteries. Mm-hmm. They literally just fall into her lap. Even when she's on weekend getaways or trips.
She can't get away from
She finds a mystery. And then, even though she's on vacation, Nancy loves a good mystery, so she'll always go after it, like even when she's supposed to be relaxing.
Yeah.
I also,
she's a traditional character.
yeah,
I
I love,
just has traditional values.
I love her relationship with her father. Her mother's died when she was a little girl, and so she's been raised by her father and their housekeeper Hannah. Her dad, Carson Drew, is a lawyer, but her and her dad have such like a wonderful relationship, and he's such a cool guy too, because he's like, yeah, my daughter solves crimes, and every once in a while I'll be like, please be careful, Nancy, but he's never like, you cannot do this anymore.
He's empowering of his daughter.
Yeah, like he encourages her to be like, yeah, like the very first book, I just finished reading it to Ellen because I want her to.
In fact, it's the first chapter book read to her in her life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we finished reading it, and her dad.
Speaking of which, she woke up.
Oh, hi, princess. Her dad is so caring but empowering. Like the whole time, like she's trying to solve this case, and she has some pretty close calls. He never like tells her to stop going after it. He keeps telling her, "Yeah, like please be careful, but let's solve this." So Nancy Drew, you can pick up any of those.
Do you know who wrote?
So actually,
was it a collection
fun
of people?
fact. Yes, fun fact about Nancy Drew. It's a ghostwriter. So the author is Carolyn Keene, but
it's a pseudonym.
Yeah, everyone. There's a lot of different authors for Nancy Drew. Do you want me to keep going while you're getting our little princess there, or you just put her binky in?
I'm just gonna put her binky in.
Okay. My last character, and this is my all-time favorite fictional character, and there's a lot I have. I'm just mentioning like my top 3 here. My last character that I love would be Boromir from The Lord of the Rings. The main one he appears in is the Fellowship of the Ring. Does he? I don't remember. Even when I read him, I don't remember if he appeared. Okay, we'll just stick with the Fellowship of the Ring because that's where he really shines. Obviously,
I believe that's the only one he is alive in.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But he is referenced and mentioned throughout the others.
Okay. I love the character of Boromir. Simply, and people say, like, I've had, you hear Boromir, and probably some people think either the meme of one cannot simply walk into Mordor, but all the memes have changed it into. But probably people think, like, people don't like him. And it's simply because he tries to take the ring from, like, people kind of look at him as, like, a jerk, essentially. But, what?
Well, I'm just thinking about what you've pointed out to me about him, and I'm thinking about what you're going to say.
Well, the cool thing about Boromir is I think he represents who we are as humans in reality.
He's the most real character.
Yeah, because out of all of them, and I'm sure if the entire Fellowship had stayed with Frodo to the end, we would have seen different sides of all the characters, but Boromir was the first one to fall to temptation of the ring. And so he even tries taking it from Frodo. And so that kind of makes him look like this awful person. And that can kind of represent ourselves. Like, we're so tempted by certain things that we fall to it and we do these things. And sometimes they lead to lifelong, a road of like pain and grief. It's a long road. Other times it's not so long. But the coolest thing about Boromir is though he makes this decision to try and take the ring, he realizes what he does. And in the end...
He's heartbroken over it, you can tell.
Oh, yeah. And then in the end, he comes back as a bad A, and he saves Merry and Pippin. Well, in the end, they capture...
He loved them all throughout.
Yeah, but like I guess in the end, he's captured, but he gives his life defending them. So he redeems himself in the sense that like he knows he's messed up, and so he gives his life trying to save his friends. And so I think that's just I love Boromir. Out of any fictional character that's ever been written, I think he's amazing. I will always...
He is the hero.
I will always stand up for Boromir to anybody.
Yeah.
So I love it that, and even when the scene happens and he gets hit by an arrow, and you're like, oh crap, he's gonna, and he just gets right back up and he keeps going.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and later in the stories, you do learn that he was only there at the meeting And he only even considered taking the ring because he was pressured by his dad. When he was first told about it.
That's what I literally just told you while you were watching his last films.
Yeah,
I pointed that out.
I know, but you didn't just say it, so I'm saying it now.
Okay.
But he was pressured by his dad, and his initial response had been no. But I mean, the power of it's incredibly powerful, and it wants to get back to the bad guy. And so the temptation, yes, was quick, but like initially he rejected it. He didn't want that in his life.
Yes.
So that's just another aspect.
That's why I really like Boromir. Yeah. And again, that's from the Lord of the Rings series written by J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah. If you haven't checked those out, it's a good read. Unless you're reading Sam and Frodo's part of the book. Yeah. It's a little bit of a snooze.
You haven't finished all of them yet.
I haven't. No, Frodo and Sam is too boring. I couldn't get up we went up a hill, and we went down, and up again. And I was just like, oh my goodness.
Do you want to read it all eventually?
I am. I'm reading this.
Silmarillion.
That's how you say it. I can't say it.
You're going to go through them.
So yeah.
Which leads me to, this is kind of a plug for your channel, but also kind of Boromir leads well into that.
Yes.
If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel called No More Shame. Essentially what it is I have people come on and tell their stories from different walks of life, whether it be from eating disorders, mental health, addictions, and I have a lot. And people come on and tell their stories, and it allows them to kind of put you almost in their perspective, hear their story. And I'm trying to get rid of the stigmas in our world that surround so many different topics, because, these things that happen to people don't define them.
Boromir wanting to take the ring shouldn't define him.
It doesn't define him, because in the end, he redeemed himself. And so there's a lot of things, and yes, some people do horrible things, and they continue to do that throughout their lives. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen, but a lot of people make mistakes and they realize that, or they have things happen. Not everything's a mistake that happens to somebody. I don't want that to be seen that way either. But the fact that people are able to keep on moving forward and live through these things that happen to them, and sometimes redeeming themselves, or sometimes being able to conquer this thing that's happened to them, there's real strength and beauty to be found in that. So my channel is called No More Shame. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. And bi-weekly I release episodes of people sharing their stories to try and help other people in their journey through life, but also to remove stigmas that surround various ways. So go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, and please subscribe to that as well.
Yes, subscribe.
Because there's a lot of good that can come from that channel.
Yes, there is. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, thanks for joining me today.
You're so
I love you.
I love you too.
And maybe soon I will share my own list of my favorite characters. But to close, your 3 favorite are Nancy Drew, Boromir, and
Long John Silver.
And Long John Silver. Okay, thank you. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please make sure to do that down below. Leave a comment about your favorite characters, if you share any of Dillon's favorite characters, and your thoughts.
Yeah, let us know.